everyone, my name is Sam, welcome back to my channel. This is my June wrap up. So I have been in a massive reading slump for the past month. June was an incredibly stressful month that I will talk about later on in this video, because you're probably here for the books rather than my life crises that I have been having. So of course I'll start with the books first because that's probably the most interesting part. I only read 5 books in June, which was massively under my usual average. Normally each month I read between 8 and 15 books depending on what I've got going on, and yeah, 5 books was not great. I found that even though I'm not really bothered by the number of books that I read each month, I don't really have a goal to set or to try to achieve. It still stressed me out because I know that reading is my way to relax and to switch off and to kind of escape, because I wasn't getting to read because I just couldn't concentrate or I was too busy. I then knew that I wasn't able to relax properly like I normally would, so that didn't really help with my stresses. But 5 is still an okay number. It's not too bad. I don't know what my average rating is because I haven't properly filled this spreadsheet in, but we'll start off with the books I actually have something to say about, and then we'll talk about the books that I don't really have much to discuss, because there are a couple of those. So first of all, I reread The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I bought this because it was on sale and I wanted it on my shelf. I read it a couple of years ago and of course I loved it. I gave it 4 stars at the time, and because I was struggling to read anything, I wanted to reread a realistic fiction book with characters that I know about. And because Taylor Jenkins Reid's newest book is coming out I think in July or August, I thought this would be a good time to reread Evelyn Hugo. I loved it. Again, this time around I'm probably going to give it 4.5 stars. I feel a greater connection to the book now having reread it. It's not quite a 5-star read, it's not one of my all-time favourites, but it is very good. So if you don't know what Evelyn Hugo is about, because I know that people tend to skip the synopsis when talking about this book because it's so popular, but if you don't know, it's about an actress called Evelyn Hugo. Basically, the main character who is telling the story is a journalist called Monique, and she has been personally chosen by Evelyn Hugo, the old school Hollywood actress, to tell her life story. Evelyn has previously been very quiet about her life and memoirs because she was very famous in her youth and then kind of got sick of it, I suppose, and then lived in retirement quite nicely and quietly until she approached Monique and asked her to tell her story. Evelyn Hugo obviously had 7 husbands, and that's a lot of what this book is about. Each kind of section focuses on one husband and what was happening to Evelyn Hugo at the time. Some of the husbands are barely relevant, some of them do have more going on. One of the husbands is also in Malibu Rising. He's the father of the siblings in that who are the main characters, so that's the connection there. I find this book to be very glamorous. I love the old school Hollywood vibes. Taylor Jenkins Reid I think lives in LA and has connections to Hollywood in some capacity. I don't know if she's a screenwriter, maybe her husband is, I'm not sure, but I think it's really well told, and I love that it's kind of like a memoir while also having a little bit of mystery and intrigue. Evelyn Hugo herself is also bisexual. This also gets addressed quite a bit in that one of her love interests is a woman and keeps calling her a lesbian, and Evelyn Hugo is like, no, I'm bisexual, I like men and women, and it's very clear about that, which I loved. I really like stories about famous people, so that's another reason why I love this book, and upon a reread it definitely holds up, so I'm really glad that I picked this one up and it really helped with my reading and my mood. So yeah, really happy with this one. I also picked up The Bookish Life of Nina Hill. This is about a woman called Nina who works at a bookshop. The bookshop isn't doing so well and Nina is kind of looking for love but kind of not. She has a crush on this guy who is her nemesis. She sees him at essentially pub quizzes and he's on the opposing team and they have a sort of rivalry going on. So they meet and it's super cute. I really liked this relationship actually for the most part. But what I found very interesting about this one was that Nina had what is essentially a secret family. So she never knew who her father was, and then she is approached by a solicitor who tells her that she is inheriting a bunch of money from this rich old man. It turns out this rich old man was her father and he had a bunch of children and grandchildren. He had like 3 marriages going on, I think, not at the same time obviously. There was a chart, I'm gonna try to find it really quickly. It basically shows who was related to who, and because I'm into genealogy myself I found it very interesting. I also found it interesting that Nina didn't know how to read this family tree, but I suppose that's just not something a normal person would be able to read. You can see here all of the different characters. I really liked the family side of things as well in this one. I loved that Nina was getting to know her previously unknown family. Her relationship with her mother was also quite interesting. I think could have been addressed more if this book was longer. It's quite a short book. By my standards it's only like 340 pages. So I think the mother-daughter relationship could have been just addressed more. Not that it was handled badly, just addressed more than it was in the book. Quite liked Nina as a character. She also suffered from anxiety, so that was quite relatable. She had a cat, which I loved, and she worked in a bookshop, which is probably my dream if I didn't have to talk to people. This one was really funny and just entertaining all around, so really enjoyed this one and glad I picked it up. Book number 3 was a graphic novel called Frostbite. I found this one on Kindle Unlimited and I decided to read it. So this one is set in post-apocalyptic America. What's basically happened is, instead of having heat waves, there are kind of frost waves. I don't know what they're actually called, but the southern states are all freezing cold now because something has gone wrong. And the main character is kind of a mercenary for hire kind of thing, like a bounty hunter. I don't really know the difference between the two. And she is hired by a father and a daughter to escort them somewhere to try to find the cure for all of this kind of frosty business. There's also a disease going around which is like frostbite, and it like turns limbs white and blue and freezes them off. Turns out that the father is the one who caused all of this apocalypse stuff, and the main character is not very happy about that, and then she has to work with the daughter to get her to where she wanted to go. It's a very short book and it definitely ended as though it could have a sequel, but as far as I'm aware it doesn't, and that's a shame because I really enjoyed this one. I gave this 3.5 stars. Oh, I gave Nina Hill 3.5 stars as well, by the way. So yeah, Frostbite got 3.5 stars. Really enjoyed it, and I would definitely read the sequel if it was ever released, but I don't think it's going to be, which is a shame because I think it has a lot of potential. Really enjoyed the story, the characters were really interesting, and I'm pretty sure the 2 main women were in love, but I don't think it was ever addressed. It should have been, but I don't think it was. And then I have 2 books I don't really have much to say about. So the first is Shadow Hills. This one has been on my TBR for years. I think it came out in like 2010. So it was just when I started blogging and booktubing, and it was quite a big deal. It had a different US cover. This is an ugly UK one. I think this is actually US. I don't know why it's like this. So this is about a girl called Persephone. Because of that, I thought it was going to be a Greek mythology retelling because those were big in like 2011, 2012, but that's not actually the case. This is kind of about witches. It's set in a small town. The main character goes to boarding school there because her sister previously attended, and her sister has since died. She kind of wants to go and follow in her sister's footsteps and figure out what's happening in this weird town. It turns out to be like witchy stuff and hauntings and ghosty stuff. Really, really interesting as a premise. The book was just kind of okay. I think this would have worked better as an older YA book, which weren't really a thing like back in 2010, so it's understandable that it wasn't. Or maybe as like a new adult or adult college story. I think that would have been really cool. So it had a really good concept, but it wasn't anything amazing. I gave this one 3 stars. And then the last book I honestly have nothing to say about, and that is Summer Frost. I gave it 3.5 stars. I can't really remember what it's about, but I remember enjoying it and listening to it on my commute, so that's good. It's the last story in the Forward story collection, I think it's called. It's an Amazon story collection, and I've previously been reading through all of this collection, and I'm going to go on to the next collection soon as well. So yeah, enjoyed it. Nothing amazing, but I was in the mood for some sci-fi, and that's what I got. So that's it for my reading wrap up. In terms of how June was as a whole, it was atrocious. I really didn't enjoy myself, so we didn't really have many plans in June because we've been getting our porch done. If you don't know already, I have mentioned this in a few videos before, and I was going to vlog it, but then I kept stopping the vlogs because I was stressed. We had an overhanging porch outside our house, and it was overhanging like this over the front door, and it became slanted, so we had to fix it sooner than we thought we would have to. And we've only been in this house for a year and a half at this point. So we booked in a builder. What we wanted was a brick porch extension, so extending from the front of the house. Our 2 external cupboards, one was going to stay a cupboard but be inside once the porch was done, and then the other was going to be extended and become an inside downstairs toilet. And that's been very, very stressful. I've hated the experience, honestly. This is the first big home renovation we've done. We've done painting and stuff. We've had a few things replaced, but kind of dealing with the builder and building control, which still isn't finished, and then the water company has just been intense. I wasn't expecting it to be so bad, so if I ever have to do home renovations again, like if we get an extension out the back, I think I would definitely hire a project manager to deal with all of it for me, because this was not good. It really put me into a massive reading slump. Quill is still in like intense planning mode because he's struggling to switch off, so it's not been very good. And also work has been quite stressful as well. My manager was off for 3 weeks on holiday, and so I was covering for her. We're understaffed and it's really busy, so I haven't really been enjoying my time. I'm hoping July will be better. We do have a few plans in July. We've got a wedding to go to, which I think is going to stress me out. We're also going to Wales, which will be really, really lovely. I can't wait for that. We're going next week as I'm posting this on the 7th. looking forward to doing some hiking around the mountains and the forest. That'll be really good. And then I also want to book a holiday for September because I think I need like a break to look forward to. We obviously have our Iceland trip in November planned for our 30th birthdays and our anniversary, but that's not for quite a while, and I just want to go somewhere hot and warm and just sit by the beach and not have to do anything, because this past year, 2022 so far, has been really stressful because we've either been planning for the building stuff to go on, or work has just gone a bit mad. Nothing has been how I was expecting. I got promoted, which I was kind of hoping would happen, but at the same time my department is going through redundancies and right sizing, so it's been a promotion, but I'm also having to deal with stuff that I wouldn't really normally want to. So yeah, it's been quite an intense year so far. As you have probably noticed, my video schedule has gone down the drain. I was posting 3 days a week with reading sprints as well to make a 4th video. I've barely been managing 1 video every 1 or 2 weeks at the moment. I'm hoping come August I will get back on track. I've already got a ton of videos planned for July because I need to do like my mid-year catch-ups and freak-out tags and, you know, reading stats and stuff, which I really enjoy doing, so that'll be fun. But over the next month, maybe expect for my videos to be not as regular as they were before June. I will try my best, but I think there are going to be some gaps in there until I get a handle on things. One really cool thing that happened in June, or maybe May, was that I started a new blog. So I've been blogging over at booksofamber.com for the past 11 years. I started in September 2010, so nearly 12 years, and the site, because it went through so many moves and sort of renovations, I guess, it became very glitchy, and so I finally got sick of it and I was like, this is taking up so much of my time, I can't be bothered to try to fix it. I'm gonna have to pay someone at this point because I've tried everything and it's just not working. So I decided to start a new blog, and I've started booktrack.com, which is going to be like a traveling and bookish reading website, because I have always wanted to try travel blogging. I've tried in the past on Books of Amber and it just didn't feel right because it's not a dedicated travel blog, but this one from the outset is going to be a mixture of books, lifestyle and travel, so I'm hoping it's going to fit in better there. I haven't really done many travel posts so far because I've not been traveling, but I did post about my travel plans for the rest of 2022, and I'm really looking forward to doing like travel summaries and hotel reviews as well. It's something I'm really excited for, probably because I'm a book reviewer. I just want to review places that I go to because I'm a nerd. So yeah, that's really exciting. It's given me something to look forward to. I just need to find the time to do it. What else have I been doing? I've been playing a lot of Ark Survival Evolved, I think it's called. I got the game years and years ago when it first came out because there were dinosaurs in it, and I thought that was really cool, but the game was really glitchy and the other players that I was multiplaying with were bastards, basically. I didn't enjoy it, but I've since installed it on my new gaming computer, which is not really new anymore, it's 2 years old, but that's the first computer I've had that can probably handle it, and there aren't as many glitches now. So I've, in the past 2 weeks, put 32 hours into that. It's really been helping me de-stress. I've been taming dinosaurs, and Quill's been playing with me because he got it for free, so I've really been enjoying that. And that's about all I've been up to. I am hoping to bring back the reading sprints and weekly vlogs at some point in the next couple of months, but probably not in July because I've got so much going on. I need to do some sit-down videos to kind of get ahead on my schedule because of the wedding and the travelling that's coming up. But I'm feeling much more positive about everything that's going on, especially now that the building work's over. We just need to deal with building control, and then that's it, we're done, and then I'm never doing any home renovations ever again if I can help it, as long as nothing else falls down, which it might because we have a very old conservatory, but I'm not thinking about that right now. Anyway, that is it. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you read in June or what you've been reading recently. Let me know how your summer is going so far. I'll be back in a couple of days with another video. I don't know which one that's going to be yet because I haven't recorded it yet, but it's either going to be a book haul or the mid-year book freak out tag. So please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye.